Have you ever felt like your career was moving forward smoothly, only to suddenly hit a wall? Let's talk about the quiet way careers get stuck and how you can avoid it. It's not the dramatic crash, it's slower. It comes from the series of choices that felt perfectly correct, utterly safe at the time, the prestigious degree, the blue chip corporation, the stable industry. That clear, well-marked career ladder, you navigated away from every visible cliff, only to discover a decade later you're standing on ground that looks solid, but is actually being quietly, systematically eroded out from under you. This isn't about luck. It's about a long-term calculation the system runs. Today, we're uncovering the hidden cost of playing it safe. This mistake might cost you more than you think. Let's dive into how. Hold that thought. Let's make it concrete. Picture two professionals, similar starting points. They meet again after 10 years. One took the safe path, a stable role at a giant traditional corporation. The other took the risky path, an uncertain role at a tiny emerging tech startup. Now, which one do you think is more likely to be thinking, I feel my skills and my experience are slowly becoming irrelevant to the market? A, the one at the stable giant. B, the one at the startup, which might now be huge. C, the odds are about the same. It's not about that initial choice. Type your gut answer in the comments. We'll come back to the system's hidden math at the end. Let's walk through how this safe decay actually works, step by step. First, the decay of adaptability. When stability becomes your cage. Meet Robert, an operations manager at a century-old manufacturer. He spent 15 years mastering the traditional way, but things are changing. What happens next will surprise you. For 15 years, he's been a master of the existing world. He optimizes legacy production lines. He navigates established union contracts. He manages a stable, long-term supplier network. His choice was, by every standard measure, safe. Mature industry, rock-solid company, a core operational role. Then the wave hits. Industry 4.0, automation. The entire paradigm of how things are made gets flipped. And the system, the broader industrial ecosystem, the job market, quietly updates its definition of an operations expert. It's no longer the person who is the best at mastering traditional processes. It's the person who can navigate digitalization and flexible manufacturing. Robert's deep, hard-won experience doesn't translate. It depreciates. It becomes a highly sophisticated yet incompatible legacy system. But his safe choice is about to be rendered obsolete. The system's upgrading. Can Robert adapt, or is he already too far behind? And when the system upgrades, the software most compatible with the old version is often the first to be phased out. If you've ever felt that your seasoned experience comes with a high cost of explanation in a new environment, type legacy in the comments. Second, the punishment for path dependence. Why being right makes it impossible to turn. Here's the trap. The system rewards you handsomely for following its current rules, but that reward secretly builds your path dependence. Every safe path is essentially a dedicated railway track. The system has already laid down for you. It's clear, it's direct. The longer and more successful you run on that track, the more your entire professional vehicle, your decision-making model, your sense of risk, your problem-solving toolkit gets custom built for that one track. Then the environment shifts. The system now needs people who can drive on networked backroads or even fly. And you're left there, not just without a map, but having forgotten how to operate without rails. We saw this in the digital transformation of publishing. The most senior traditional editors were once pillars. Their mastery of the print workflow was everything. But when the market pivoted to digital content and direct-to-consumer models, their entire safe path knowledge, all the intricacies of printers, distributors, physical retail, saw its market value collapse. Meanwhile, the agile, data-driven community management skills they hadn't needed to develop became the mandatory currency of the new landscape. Third, the compound interest of missed chances. The slow, invisible exit. The cruelest cost compounds silently. It's the opportunity cost of all the paths not taken. Every single time you chose safe option A over risky but potential option B, you didn't just secure A's steady return. You permanently forfeited the potential growth, the expanded network, the cognitive upgrade that B might have unlocked. The system doesn't distribute future golden opportunities, the keynote projects, the cross-border leadership roles, the innovation budgets at random. It's constantly running a background check on your adaptive potential and tolerance for ambiguity. By consistently choosing the demonstrably safe path, you are quietly building a profile. The system tags you high change aversion tendency. This tag doesn't get you fired. It simply gets you moved out of the high potential talent pool. When a disruptive bet the company project is greenlit, your name won't be on the short list. During a major reorganization, you're more likely to be left in place in the legacy structure. You aren't pushed out, you are strategically sidelined. This dynamic isn't some modern HR mystery. It's ancient political insight, automated. The strategist Han Feizi captured it perfectly with the fable of waiting by the stump. A farmer gets lucky, a rabbit sprints into a tree stump, breaks its neck, and provides a free meal. So what does the farmer do? He abandons his plow. He just sits by the stump, waiting for another rabbit to make the same mistake. No more rabbits come. He becomes the laughing stock of his whole state. The modern translation, the system, the environment is not static. It evolves. The rabbits, the pockets of opportunity, the points where value is created and rewarded, keep moving. If you confuse professional safety with clinging to a single previously successful path, instead of continuously cultivating the skill to thrive in new environments, then as the system iterates, your once safe zone will inevitably become a backwater, an island disconnected from the mainland of relevance. Han Feizi was warning about the obsolescence that is the direct result of a one-time past safe win. Let's look at a full case study. Catherine. In the early 2000s, she made a brilliant safe choice. She joined the management trainee program of a dominant, traditional American retail giant. For the next 15 years, she climbed a crystal clear ladder. She became a regional operations director. She mastered the deep intricacies of physical retail, real estate site selection, in-store inventory management, seasonal promotion logistics. Her choice until about 2015 was the textbook definition of secure. Then the landscape fractured. E-commerce and omnichannel retail became the core battleground. Everything Catherine was an expert in remained necessary, but it was no longer decisive for the company's future. The newly formed teams, digital marketing, logistics algorithms, user experience design, started getting the big budgets and the boardroom attention. Catherine wasn't demoted, but her department's budget was squeezed year after year. Her invitation to high-level strategy meetings became less frequent. When the company launched its digital transformation initiative, she found her vast offline operational experience was difficult to translate into influence during discussions about data middle platforms, AI-driven personalized recommendations, or algorithmic supply chains. She hadn't failed. She hadn't made a mistake. Yet, she felt herself being gradually excluded from the very conversations that were deciding the company's future. Her safe choice made her the perfect executive for the old retail era, and it saddled her with a massive, unplanned experience transformation debt when the new era arrived. So, let's go back to that initial question. If you selected A, you're seeing the pattern now. The system doesn't guarantee success on your old path. It only rewards alignment with future value. But here's the real question. What if you've been walking down the wrong path this whole time? Stay tuned. And long-term safe choices systematically reduce that alignment. The deep logic of safe choices aging poorly is this blunt trade. You are exchanging short-term certainty and low risk for your own long-term adaptability and your future right to choose. This brings us to the close of Module D, long-term structural consequences. We've tracked how behaviors, from always saying yes to becoming indispensable, from early success to excessively fast growth, and finally to safe choices, all ferment over the dimension of time into structural dilemmas. Which forces one last defensive question. What if we do the exact opposite? What if we don't just succeed but win repeatedly? If we continuously prove our judgment through a string of victories, does that make us immune to these long-term traps? Unfortunately, the system has a more complex, more wary reaction to a pattern of repeated wins. In our next module, Module E, we enter the advanced layer of Level 2. We'll see how the system reinterprets the individual who is abnormally, consistently successful. Our first lecture there is a direct probe into this paradox. It's called How Repeated Wins Redefine Risk. We'll reveal why, the more you win, the system doesn't necessarily trust you more. It may instead recategorize you from a reliable winner into an uncontrollable variable. We'll explore why sustained, exceptional performance triggers a completely different and often more severe risk assessment algorithm in the system's back end. If you've ever wondered why greater success can sometimes make each subsequent step feel more precarious, as if you're walking on thinner ice, then Module E will map out that ice for you. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. We're stepping onto the advanced battlefield of the long game.